Good morning, Americans. This is your favorite alien. Today, Sunday, July 2nd, 2023. Most of you are getting ready for the July 4th holiday with hot dogs and potato salad and all the good stuff. Don't forget the baked beans. And supposedly celebrate Independence Day, but I would say 90% of you don't understand what that word means. Well, today's comment is exactly on that. Independence Day. And what you caused that word to mean today. For the last 60 years, ever since a guy named Barry Goldwater, oh boy, and he referred to himself as conservative Republican, if I remember right. He forgets a decade before he said conservative Republican, there was this crazy guy in Wisconsin, AOC. He was worse than you are, and you are getting to be terrible too, but Joseph P. McCarthy. Yeah. Remember him? And we got another McCarthy there today. Oh, and it's not Charlie. Gee, I miss Charlie. You know, does anybody miss Charlie McCarthy? I do. Anyway, but in the last 60 years, you got what you wanted. Extremism. You got extremist Republicans, extremist Democrats, independents who don't know what the hell they're doing, conservative evangelical Republicans who consider themselves somewhat moderate. I don't even know what that word means anymore. Blue dog Democrats who they're supposed to be extinct, but there's still a few left. And they stink. So you can take the X out of it, and then they say they stink. So they're not extinct, they just stink. Well, you got all those here. And what do you have? Your views have eliminated what the United States ideal was, what the Constitution stood for, what the Declaration of Independence and those people who fought for it meant. What those 628,000 people who died in the Civil War 160 years ago almost, what that meant. And you don't bother to look at yourselves and say, the problem is us. Because for the last 60 years you voted for these jokers. From the Congress, the presidency, and the Congress voted to appoint these jokers in the Supreme Court. So the joke is on you for being stupid and not knowing that your descendants are going to pay the price. Lucky I won't be here too much longer. And that you guys get to pay the price. Yoo-hoo! Oh boy, but do you guys want to pay the price? Hell no. Look at AOC. She's on CNN today saying, hurry up, yeah. Bless those extremist, rightist Republicans. Really, AOC? How about you extremist leftists? And then you come up and you say, well, I met with the Latin caucus. Yeah? Why do you need a black caucus? Why do you need a Latin caucus? Do you have an Asian caucus? Do you have a LGBTQ caucus in the Congress? Or how about a woman Congress? I don't think you have a woman caucus, do you? No, you have extremist caucuses. Extremist views, that's what you got. Same in the Senate. Boy, whatever happened to representing your district and representing your state on each different views? And I don't like Chief Justice Thomas, AOC, but he's right about Ketanji Jackson. She looks at the African Americans as victims, and they are not. Latins look at each other, oh, we're the victims of all this. Oh boy. I come from Panama, and I never looked at me as a victim. And I wasn't liked by both sides because I was considered illegitimate on one side and a usurper on the other, meaning Americans and Panamanians. Usurper because I went to the American schools, but the Panamanians were concerned I was a traitor. Americans considered me illegitimate for not having a lick of American on me and going to an American school. That's because my grandfather, who adopted me as a ward, not as a grandfather, gave me the best education that somebody could buy. And trust me, you Americans that went to school here in the States, the Panama Canal Zone, whether you went to Cristobal High School, Corundu Junior High School, all the elementary schools, or even Canal Zone College, you got the best teachers money could buy. And that's no joke. I had teachers there that could outshine any teachers that you had here. I went to my brother's school at Lincoln Park High School in Michigan. Their teachers sucked compared to mine. My teachers were different. They had a different point of view. America is America. In their view of Americans, you got to talk to a Zonian to understand the American point of view. Theirs is different than a regular American up here. They got a reunion coming up this weekend in Orlando, Florida. If anybody of you go to that reunion they're having in Orlando and talk to one of those Zonians over there, you won't understand what they say because they were brought up in a different system than you were here. Our schools, you learned a lot more than kids do here. Did we have the usual shenanigans? Well, not to the point that you had here. I wouldn't say you'd take the principal's pants and you run them up the flagpole. No, but if you messed up, and you remember, guys, you had that little plaque at Balboa High School that you had to polish with brasso if you messed up big time. And there was a few of them that did. Oh, yeah, you know. And you had rules that you had to uphold or you had to see Bondurant at the principal's office. Yeah, remember that in the 70s? Mr. Willman was a nice guy. But when we got to Balboa High School, my class of 78, remember that? When we got there in 75, Leslie Bondurant went from junior high to high school and he became the principal. He was a terrible assistant principal at Corundu Junior High School and an even worse, tougher high school principal. Oh, Leslie Bondurant. Oh, boy. Yeah, was he? You don't have principals like him in the States. Oh, no. No. Clyde Willman? Oh, yeah, you had a lot like him. Nice guy. He was an older guy. And he was a nice guy. I met him in 9th grade because he was the principal of Balboa High School, but I was still in Corundu Junior High because we had 7, 8, and 9, even though 9th grade is considered a high school grade. But I met Mr. Willman in his last year that he had. By the time I got there in 10th grade, he was already retired, and Leslie Bondurant was selected to go to be the principal of Balboa High. Oh, the teachers at Balboa High didn't like that either, especially Mr. Norton, boy. Mr. Hanson, over there. There was a bunch of teachers there that didn't like him. Mr. Willingham was a science teacher. Oh boy, he did like Mr. Bondurant. And the attendance officer, Mr. Hunt, everybody used to hate Mr. Hunt. Remember that, guys? Oh, but you see, Americans, this is your problem. You have politicized and you think more of yourself as extremist Republicans, extremist Democrats, liberals and conservatives and not Americans. Or blacks, Latins, Asians, and not Americans. You have the slash Americans. There's no such thing as slash Americans. You should be all one. Until you get there, you'll have these problems like AOC in Congress and Ketanji Jackson in the Supreme Court and little Thomas in the Supreme Court and taking all these money from other people. Oh, I got to take a vacation, so this guy's paying for it, so I'll go. No. You shouldn't take any money or any vacations or anything. You're there to serve the country until your time is over. This is your favorite alien saying, when are you going to get your watermelons off your brains? And remember, the problem in this country is not the Congress, it's not the Supreme Court, it's not the president, although all three of them are bad. It is you, the American people and the voters who voted them there, that's the problem. So look at your face and look at Demodex on the other side when you look in the mirror, okay? Good day.